So for those of you who are coming in, this is the SpacetimeDB stream. SpacetimeDB is the backend for BitCraft. So you are in the right place if you're coming from the BitCraft stream. So today what we're going to try to do is we are going to try to deploy a module or deploy a update to BitCraft live on stream without taking the game down. So I guess, do you want to like open with the demo, or what do you want to do?
I think it could be fun to open with the demo. I think that's what everybody's here for.
Okay.
If you guys have any questions about SpacetimeDB, let us know. Maybe we can kind of let people in a little bit to the back end and just show maybe what a SpacetimeDB module looks like and how we deploy it. I don't know if you have one of those ready. Maybe like the demo one. Possibly.
Yeah, we could just look at the default one quick.
Just to kind of show people what a basic module looks like. And then obviously the BitCraft one is enormous because it's a production game, but it's all the same in terms of deployment.
So maybe we can you want to just look at a default one quick?
Yeah, let's just take a look at a basic SpacetimeDB module just to give people an idea. So this is going to be written in Rust. If you don't know Rust, don't fear. It's actually very, very simple. And the idea is you have a basic Rust project. Here's one thing. It's only one file. And let me take you through the anatomy of it. So this is a thing that gets compiled to a bytecode called WebAssembly. It's sort of a new web technology that's becoming more and more adopted. It's essentially an efficient way to execute this code on the server in a trustless way. So we don't have to trust this code from the SpacetimeDB host because of the safety sandbox that this provides. Doesn't matter. The point is you have this code here. I'll take you through the anatomy of this module. It's very, very simple. So here at the top, we're declaring a table. So SpacetimeDB is a relational database, just like SQL, MySQL, all that stuff. But it connects directly to your programming language. So we've declared a table. The name of that table is person. It only has one column, and that's string. It corresponds to this Rust type, which we can use to manipulate our table in here. We also have an init function, which is called the first time you publish your module, which lets you set things up and get your module started. Then we have some connection and disconnection logic to allow you to know when a particular client is connected or disconnecting from the server. This is useful if you want to know, like, hey, is this person logged in? Is this person logged out? How do we keep track of that state? Currently not doing anything here. We have below those functions a thing called a reducer. So it says SpacetimeDB reducer. What that means is it's just a mutating function that will change the database state. So in this particular case, we have, or can change the database state. We have an add function that just takes one parameter, which is a name. You insert that, you take that name, you create a person, and you insert that into the person table, and you've got an additional person. If you take us down a little bit further.
Oh yeah, there's one more function here, say hello.
We have a say hello function, which is just going to look at all of the people in the table and then print them. And so now that's really it. So BitCraft is not any more complicated than this, for what it's worth, except that it's a lot more code. We have a lot more tables. We have a lot more types. You can actually see some of them. I suppose we could do that right now as well, as we could select star from some of the tables in BitCraft, the actual thing, and kind of show some of that. But this is really it. And then the key to it is that it just goes really, 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 really fast. So we can execute these extremely quickly and relay the results of the changes of the table to the clients. So basically, you as a client will subscribe to these tables, and anytime they change, you can then update the state of the world on your screen. So for example, if you have players and they're moving around, as the rows change in the database, they will also change in your client.
Cool. Did you want to like select from any tables in BitCraft just to show it's the same system? I don't know.
Yeah, do you think we could do that? Is that something? I know you weren't really prepared for that one.
I could do it. I think I'm somewhat ready.
All right,
we could try.
So let's run a spacetime SQL command.
Select ID name like that.
Yeah, and add tier in there for giggles.
Okay.
And hit it. So cool. So now you can see a list of all of the items in the game, which we can, by the way, update super easily by just hitting one of our reducers and saying, hey, change all of the static data in the game. So these are the static data in the game. All the desk tables are the tables that define the actual game thing. So it's like items, recipes, that's really most of it, resources, the types of resources, anything that basically it defines the game itself, the rules of the game stored in here. And then all of the player data is stored in other tables, which are not desk tables. So that's basically SpacetimeDB. And you can write these queries so that they update. So basically, you get the result of the query, and then anytime it changes, you get all the changes to the query. Super cool, and it happens really fast. So with that said, what do you think about doing the demo, John? You think we're ready?
Sure. I would preface this with I haven't tested it beforehand, and we are doing it on the live server. So
we're gonna do it live.
You're all here seeing it live. Okay.
We're gonna show you the real stuff. So you may see us panic and need to fix things, but doubtfully.
Okay. So basically, what are we doing here? So we actually do this like somewhat frequently as well. Basically, we have two separate applications here. We have SpacetimeDB and we have BitCraft. BitCraft is actually running inside of SpacetimeDB as a module. We've had several bugs during the playtest where we wanted to roll out a fix for those bugs, but not necessarily like update SpacetimeDB. So basically, we just wanted to update BitCraft. So essentially, what we can do is just take the module that's running inside of SpacetimeDB right now, which is the BitCraft module, and swap it out with another module, which in this case is also BitCraft, obviously, but a version that's updated that fixes a bug. I had asked the BitCraft team to fix a real bug, but they have fixed them all, as far as I know. They didn't have anything that was really sticking out as something they wanted to fix live on stream. So what we're going to do is we're going to introduce a patch. We're going to see the effects of that patch live, and then we'll apply another patch on top of the patch that we're going to apply. So that's kind of the process here. So
create a bug, and we're going to remove a bug, basically.
Essentially,
so we're going to create the bug. You guys, all the people in chat, are going to verify in-game that bug now exists in the game, that we've now added in the game without disconnecting. So you want to maintain that you're connected the entire time. Then we're going to remove that bug without you guys disconnecting. So we're going to add and remove a bug, all while you can see it. So you want to explain what that bug is, what the bug is that we're gonna introduce?
So the bug is we're going to introduce a bug in the calculation for damage while extracting. Basically, it's going to be a bug where it's going to cause all hits to crit instead of the correct crit rate, which is obviously some percentage chance. So essentially, we're going to roll that patch out. Everybody is going to be able to crit on everything only for a short amount of time, though. So get your crits in while you can. But we're going to roll it out. We're going to see it live, and then we will roll back to the previous version is what we'll do.
Can we actually, this is a little bit leaking the source code a tiny bit, but could we show that patch, like the Git patch?
We can.
On stream? We
can.
I'm authorizing.
You are authorizing, okay. Yes. So in that case, git diff.
It's gonna be should be just a little change.
A little teeny tiny change. Okay. That is the bug that we are introducing. Do you want to, I guess, maybe explain for people who are less technical what this actually does?
Sure. So at the top here, you can see it's in the function reduce, in this case for player extract. So this is for a player extracting something from the world. In this case, we consider basically mining, chopping trees, fishing, a lot of things are extracting. And as part of that, basically, if it's not a cargo, if it is not a cargo, then we're going to try to roll a crit. Are you actually going to crit on this? And then the crit outcome is going to be some function of the player level and the deposit level. And in this case, we're adding 1, so that the crit outcome is definitely going to become going to happen. It's going to become that we are going to give you a crit no matter what by adding this 1 here. And that's the thing. So you should be able to see that reflected. Right now, this doesn't happen. If you're playing the game right now, you should see that. And then we're going to change it. We're going to pop into the game. We're going to see that everybody's critting like crazy. What a great bug. get your crits in here, and then we'll fix the bug.
If we go to this bush here, we'll see not critting. Okay, although this is hit chance 100%. So this is not the crit chance. So the crit chance is some small percentage. Okay, so we're not critting. So now what we can do is jump over here, and go ahead and let's see. The one that we want to deploy is this, which is the current patch that we are on. So this is correct. Okay, cool. So we have the game here. This is working. We are on the correct commits. Okay, and we just checked this, that it contains only this very small update. So now we're going to do spacetime. I have to get the identity first, which I might have to like name it.
Sorry, do you not have the key for the identity?
I do. I can just like show the identity on stream. That's not like a issue, right?
No, the identities are public.
Okay, I'm just going to use this as is then. So this
if it is an issue, it's a huge security problem, which we do not have. So.
Yes, I would agree. Okay, so this is going to be spacetime publish identity that we're going to do BitCraft Alpha 2.
So let me explain, I guess, what's happening here before you do it. We're using the code that's in this directory. So John is in Clockwork BitCraft packages game. We're using the code that's in this directory. We're going to compile it to WebAssembly. We're going to upload that to the same location that the existing game server is currently running in. While SpacetimeDB is running, it's going to swap out the code that was running for this new code in between two transactions. You won't even notice it happened, except for the fact that now you'll begin critting more. The -- identity is just saying, I want to publish as this identity. And identity is a way to authenticate users in SpacetimeDB. That's sort of universal across all instances. So so this is now compiling. It's going to take a little bit to compile because BitCraft is a huge code base. And once it's compiled, it's going to then upload that, swap it out. So you guys are going to know. So be in the game right now. You should be in the game. If you're in the game right now, you should be not critting. We will tell you now you should be critting, and you will be critting. And that's the cool thing. Assuming that the code patch works. I actually don't know enough about crit outcome to know that it will, but I assume it will.
I also,
we were told
like
by the BitCraft team.
Yeah, this patch was supplied by the BitCraft team, although I think it's untested. So it's possible. It wouldn't shock me if it didn't do the thing, but I'm pretty confident. So
I believe it takes about 2 minutes to build and release the BitCraft module. In terms of the speed to deploy this is probably like 20 times faster than anything else that people can use to deploy their stuff, because they usually have to go through Docker or Kubernetes or complex ways of spinning things up and down at the same time. So now we have built, we are publishing to live, and now the database is updated. So now we should be critting. Hey, we're critting. Look at that. That's magical. So Bobby never disconnected. You guys never disconnected. You were in the game the whole time. We just changed the actual logic of the game running at runtime with no bugs, no problems. That is bananas. Can I get a did I break it in chat for the bananas that this?
It hung up for a couple seconds for me, but what would happen if 500 players were on? There might be like, so while the module swap is actually happening, we obviously can't run anything during that like short period. So there could be like, at least right now how it works is there could be a very small amount of time where it might be like paused, but it should be like super small.
If there is lag, it's something that we can definitely improve in the future. Basically, what you want to do is what's called double buffering, where you're doing all the transactions on the old one while you're spinning up the new one. And then once the new one is done, you swap to the new one and you do all the new transactions on there, and you should experience zero lag at all. So don't know if, how much of the lag was related to this actual change, but it is pretty crazy. Do you understand that multi-billion-dollar companies right now need to put their game server on maintenance mode to do this type of thing. Crazy. They need to like turn off their games. They need to kick all the players out of their worlds, destroy their metrics because they look at what they need to mimic a fraction of our power. It's kind of crazy. So anyway, that's that. John, what do you say? Oh no, I'm getting alerts on my application that we have a bug in the game.
Oh yeah.
What do you say we fix the bug?
I say we shall fix it. So we'll just roll it back to the version we were on before. So all I'm gonna do is just git checkout on that, on this bad boy. Okay, why?
Can you skip Clippy this time around as well?
Sure. Why do I have a bunch of changed stuff though? Give me like 1 second. I think it's probably it might be Windows. Yeah, it's line endings. There's not actually any changes. It's just all line endings. And actually, if I do like this, I think they'll just go away. Okay. So this is the version that we were on before. We're gonna put it back how we found it. Okay. So go ahead and publish here.
Yep. Skip Clippy.
And skip Clippy this time. Okay. Are you happy with this, Tyler?
I'm happy with this.
Okay. So we will roll
you
this.
Guys enjoyed your bug.
Yeah. I hope you.
So now
hope you guys got your crits in.
Deploy it. Bug solved. Now I can go back to sleep as an engineer and not have to stay up all night trying to figure out how we're going to get this deployed to live without taking the server down.
And this is also really cool from the SpacetimeDB perspective, because like the BitCraft team can almost like do sort of their own like DevOps stuff where they'll roll out a patch without us even really needing to do anything, because it's almost like its own isolated system, if you know what I mean. So it's like they can do whatever updates they want to do. And we don't need to like update SpacetimeDB or like take it down or really do anything on our side like at all on that. So
yes, one thing that's sort of come up in chat here is next bug and item duplication bug. So item duplication bugs are interesting. Some of them are just caused by wrong logic. There's nothing you can do about that. You need to do the right logic. Some of them, however, are caused by very tricky scenarios where you've done half of a thing and then there's an error that's thrown and you don't finish doing the thing that you want. So that error causes let's say, you to send your items to a player but not deduct them from yourself. So now you have a trade bug where if I can get an error to happen on the server, I can do that. Well, SpacetimeDB is different. SpacetimeDB makes it so every single thing that you do to change the state of the game is transactional. So it's not possible ever to do a half transaction. It's not possible to run half of a reducer. Guaranteed by the system, which eliminates maybe 95% of gold duplication and item duplication bugs. Meaning you just don't have to worry about it at all. And that is very, very important for an MMO developer who could potentially ruin their game economy with a simple bug that they didn't possibly know could happen, even if they got all the logic right. We're back. Crits are gone. Look at that. Hot swap success. Everybody's still connected. No problem. Look at that. This is how we can fix bugs that people report super, super quickly without them even knowing it. Just immediately, they're solved. It's insane.
And you can even like,
insane.
We don't do this, but one thing you could like theoretically think of doing would be to like hook this up to like a GitHub workflow where like you test something on like a testing branch and then you merge it into master. You could have a GitHub workflow that just publishes this module whenever something merges into master, and it would be like, you know, basically like automatically deploying whenever you merge things into master. So it'd be like pretty seamless in terms of integrating code into the actual live application. You could do it with the staging environment as well. Like let's say that you wanted to have like a live and a staging environment. You could have a staging branch just published automatically whenever staging is updated. And then you could just connect to it and it should just work. I guess there's some complications with like if you had a schema change and stuff like that. But overall, I think it would be pretty seamless.
Malik asked, do you guys self-host your own infrastructure or is it all cloud-based? It's you could do either. We do self-hosted, so it's bare metal. in our particular case for the alpha. And that's incredibly powerful because SpacetimeDB manages all of the cloud orchestration that you would normally have to do. So we also do cloud orchestration, but it's just that the SpacetimeDB team does that, not BitCraft, right? This is the entirety of the BitCraft deploy process. You just watched it. Super duper 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 simple. They don't have to mess with S3 buckets and the permissions and the single sign-on, all that. Yuck, disgusting. Throw it away into the garbage. It goes. So that's what that's the power of SpacetimeDB, and I think it's pretty cool. So just for anyone who doesn't know, all of BitCraft is running in SpacetimeDB. So everything, the player movement, the positions of the players, the chat messages, the position of the trees, cutting down a tree, attacking enemies, the entire thing is in SpacetimeDB. It's running in a database. This is an MMORPG that's running in a database, which sounds maybe like, oh, that was going to be slow, but actually is much faster, because one other thing to bear in mind is that if you have a game server that needs to talk to a database, the number of serialization and deserialization steps you have to go through to get that data to the database is huge. Whereas in SpacetimeDB, there's basically none, because you're moving from the in-process memory to the WASM memory and back, which is an incredibly short thing. So we can reduce the latency and increase the throughput because you're just doing much less work than you would normally do. Okay, so that's a quick tour of SpacetimeDB. I think it's super cool. I think you guys should check it out. It's also something interesting to know kind of how your favorite MMO works in the back end. It also means that for the future, we're going to be able to do some crazy things that other games really can't do. I mean, obviously, we already do that, given that you can edit the whole world of BitCraft and it's an MMORPG. But we'll also be able to scale it up further. I'll have to have some blog posts on that. We're going to be improving the performance beyond what is even reasonable. So we will see. Just give us a drop into our Discord. Try making some stuff with SpacetimeDB. If you have any questions about how BitCraft works, I think it's cool. Spread the word. That's the real thing. My dreams for this to kind of change how MMOs are made to make it more accessible to indie game developers. And I think it's totally possible, but we got to get the word out. So,
yeah.